What happens when D&D shows your partner's true colors? Let me describe the situation. So as a quick preface, I was raised by a very strange, crazy lady. I was told fantasy, sci-fi, comic books, basically anything not Barbie or Easy Bake was not for girls. This was among a lot of worse stuff that may have something to do with why I was 18 dating a 26-year-old. So the second she was out of my life, I dove headfirst into all of it. And maybe I got a little obsessive. At some point, my boyfriend, at the time, ended up telling me that a friend of his wanted to DM a short beginner campaign for new players. Obviously, I was all in, but had no idea how to proceed. The players were me, about 18, XBF, about 26, and DM, in his 30s, plus one other player who was a homebrewish monk. The DM worked very closely with me on my character, an elf cleric of a homebrew religion. Her name was Asha, and she was a very shy, quiet, nun-like character with immense amounts of devotion to her homebrew goddess. He had helped me make a low-maintenance role-playing character who also had very strong ties to the lore, the world, and the planned plot. It was great for my personality and honestly a very nice way to slowly wade into the waters of D&D, especially role-playing. The DM also told me in private that I was going to be something of a MacGuffin, as Asha's goddess would commune with her through dreams and visions, but I would have the final say on what to share with my party, both in-game and out of character. The basic plot was that a sect of Asha's religion was becoming a cult and warping the religion, so Asha's goddess sent her on a mission to squash the heretics. XBF rolled a tiefling warlock who we'll call Seven, so Asha and Monk meet up and have the same goal. Turns out the cult has taken over the monk's temple and killed his best friend. Asha doesn't trust strangers who are not of her religion, but her goddess tells her to work with the monk. Okay, cool. Then we meet Seven. Asha insta-hates him. He's a warlock and she's a religious fanatic. Monk convinces Asha to let the warlock join us, as he has some secret mission from his patron that at least somewhat aligns with Asha's and Monk's. She doesn't like it, but she trusts Monk because her goddess said she should. Seven instantly starts to hit on Asha. She rejects awkwardly, both in-game and out of character, but it's not too bad. It kind of makes sense that an evil warlock would get a kick out of making this goody two-shoes feel uncomfortable. We have a few fun fights, meet a PC who Asha really likes, and get a great vibe off of, but can't convince to join us because I failed the charisma checks. She's mad shy and timid, and as she's expressing this affection to the NPC, Seven gets mad and tries to steal from him in his own home. Asha gets mad and calls him out. I never said she was subtle, and instead of dropping the random thing he stole, Seven decides to attack the NPC. Guards are called. DM goes easy on us, and instead of TPKing, he has us kicked out of the city. This is when Seven kicks things up. He begins making much harder and stronger moves on Asha, and out of character, I'm beginning to feel really uncomfortable. I'm new to role-playing, and also at the time, I was very uncomfortable with PDA, so this was not great for me. We make camp after a rough goblin encounter, and Seven immediately says that he wants to sneak into my tent. DM pauses and asks why.
I'm going to do her.
Asha? I quietly and uncomfortably respond, Asha wouldn't do that. That's a no, 7. So, Monk,
I sneak in then.
DM takes a long pause. To talk to her?
Nope. To sleep with her.
DM takes a longer pause. Actually, Asha has taken a vow of celibacy. Sorry, I almost forgot. This wasn't on my backstory, but also wasn't far out of the realm of possibility. I did note on backstory that she was somewhat prudish, so a vow of celibacy doesn't seem much of a stretch.
So what? My character doesn't care about that.
So, you're going to force yourself on her.
If I have to.
He is literally grinning as he says this. Monk looks disgusted and shocked. DM just looks confused. I'm starting to feel myself shake and go into a panic attack. I can't say anything. I'm just focused on trying to breathe. I'm not allowing that. 7 doesn't do that. Just no. He pauses for a long time, takes off his glasses, and rubs his face. Then he sighs and says, "You know what, guys? I've got a headache. Let's end this session early." As we pack up, DM says he has a new dream for Asha, and it's the norm for us to discuss those in private, away from Monk and XBF. So we move to a different room. DM gives me his wife's cell number and says to please call her if I ever feel unsafe. He tells me I have lots of friends who care about me and that I don't have to put up with anyone mistreating me. When we get in the car, XBF starts ranting about Monk, saying that when they were alone, Monk had made a comment about how gross he had been and that XBF had said his character was just as entitled to Asha's body as he was to mine. DM never invited us to another session, though him and his wife did call me a few times after to check on me, something that sent XBF into rages. Looking back on it, I can see that this game was the first time anyone had put to words what was happening in real time to me, and hearing it from an older man, it really began to fit pieces together in my head how unhealthy that relationship was. And yes, the things he tried to do to my character were similar to things he did to me. It took a D&D campaign and his friends to make me realize how nasty he actually was. This was 6 or 7 years ago, but I've been thinking about this lately because a friend of mine has encouraged me to try out D&D again, this time with him as DM, and a male character inspired by a cross of Dick Grayson and a character from the Feast novels. Hopefully, second time's the charm. Well, to start things off, OP said that she is in a different, much healthier relationship, which is good to hear. Now, it is really sad to hear that these sorts of people exist. Sometimes, the true horror is out of the game. I'm glad the DM was appropriate and shut that situation down quick. And again, if you are in a similar situation, or know of anyone who could possibly be in such a situation, it's important to know that you and anyone else you care about shouldn't constantly feel uncomfortable around someone you spend time with. There is support out there, but please be safe.